Ooh, ooh. Hello and welcome to SEE Blissfully-lit Podcast. It's my pleasure to welcome an amazing guest I've known for many years, Scott Bates, to the podcast today. Scott is a small business owner. He likes to get outdoors, play disc golf, fishing, hunting, you name it. He's
Fair point.
always outdoors enjoying it. Welcome, Scott. I'd love to begin with just you sharing a little bit about yourself and
Yeah, I mean, you've first of all, hello, good to see you. It's been a while. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. I mean, anything outdoors. That's can't stand being inside for more than an hour if I'm not sleeping. Yeah, like you said, small business owner. I do home remodeling with my older brother. Um, been doing that for 2 years now. Uh,
wow.
it's going great. Love it. I don't think I can. I'm pretty much stuck now. I can't do anything else. That's all I got. Yeah, I don't know what else.
What do you love about it?
That's a great question. I've never really thought about that. I guess it's just the start to finish kind of thing where it's like the before and after effect, where it's you go in somewhere and it's looks bad and then you leave and it looks great and everyone's happy. But I mean, the reality is it's just all I know, You do what you know and that's what I know. It's all I've ever really done. So kind of stick with it.
Yeah,
And then
and
there's a
your
great,
skills flourish, and I've
exactly.
seen some of the product. It's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, working with my brother is great. I love that. My younger brother, when he does mason work, so when he has off time, he'll come in too. So it's like a little family thing. It's great.
That's beautiful. What led to you creating that?
Yeah, so uh, it was actually on accident. So I had a full time job as a carpenter for my entire adult life, same job, and then I mean I had a few odd jobs here and there when times got slow, but for the most part, that's all I did. And then I would do side things here and there, and there was one winter a couple years back that I had a bunch of outdoor work, so decks, fences, things of that nature, that people scheduled with me during the winter, and it just got to such a overflow of like, I had 6 months of work on top of a full time job, and it's like you got to make a choice. I mean, you can't do all this, and so I made the choice. Went out on my own and never looked back. It's kind of forced into it.
It's amazing, and you seem to love it.
I do. Yeah, I don't think I might tweak things here and there and like shift to different focuses, but for the most part, this will be me till I can't do it no more.
Awesome. Um, I'd love to hear, this is kind of somewhat off topic, but
Hmm.
still a part of your journey. What does magic mean to you, when it comes to life and your journey and the experiences you've been through up till this point?
Yeah, so that's a good question. It's just like I don't know if this is the answer you're or the answer that I should be giving, but it's like sometimes things just seem too divine. You know what I mean? Like the pieces just fall in at such a perfect timing. Like the timing, everything is just perfect. And I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't put any other words on it other than it's something beyond my capabilities. So, I mean, that things like that happen all the time. You'll be in a tight spot. Things are coming to a crunch time, and all of a sudden, floodgates just open and everything works out. And that just seems to happen a lot. There's been so many times in my life where I'm like panicking. I'm like, oh gosh, like this and this and this is happening all way too fast. And then all of a sudden everything just falls right into place.
Can you remember a time that was really significant that this happened to you? Maybe like one of the lowest times of your life that you just didn't see the end.
Yeah. It's getting a little that's sensitive right there. Yeah. So honestly, it kind of plays into what we were just talking about. It was the moments right leading up right before that. So that summer, you know, I had a long-term relationship fall apart. COVID was going on. Lost my dad. All like boom, 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 boom. Locked, you know, kind of trapped in the house. And I was like, and that's not me. So that's right. Even like that doesn't sound that bad for most people. Me being locked in the house is terrible. Don't do it. It's bad. So all of those things were just, and I just felt like everything was falling apart. And then, like I said, without even trying, like all of that just kind of fell into place and it shifted my focus. I didn't even realize it until after it was already done. I'm like, wait a minute, I feel so much better. I didn't even realize that it happened. That was the most recent big one. That was definitely it for sure. That was a big one. That was my lowest low, without a doubt.
So I'm sorry to hear that all of that piled up all at once, because that's a lot to carry. That's a lot to process and to move through.
Sure.
But that's really incredible that you were at that low and you came out of it
Yeah.
just on top. I mean,
Have to, right?
yeah. What else are you gonna do?
Nothing. You got to figure it out. I mean,
That's something that I always consider when situations seem so challenging is, am I going to sit here in a pit of despair, or am I going to look the other direction? I mean, there's so much beauty in life and so many miracles happen every day. Why why sit there, and what else could happen?
yeah. And you know, and I think in a weird way, you have to sit in those moments for a brief moment to understand what you just said. If you've never been in those moments, it's hard to like, yeah, you know, it's hard to wrap your head around what you were just explaining. I think
It's
we've all been in those moments for sure.
Yeah, I know I've had my fair share, and even recently I've faced one, and it's just okay, let's reset. We still have these same goals, but it looks like we have to find a different way to get there.
Just gets a little easier every time.
Yeah. And it really makes you appreciate the moment and the people, pets, all the beings that we share our moments with.
I want you to meet somebody, Maxie. This is the sweetest cat that there ever was. Max.
Aw. Hi, Max. Oh my goodness.
Say hi. He
He's
does.
so
Yeah.
big.
What are you doing? This is another one. So just random, just out of nowhere. You know, I've never been a cat person. You know that.
Yeah.
Um, I was in a relationship. She was a travel nurse, and so she's all over the place. You know what I mean? And this was her cat, and she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, she was going to give him back to the shelter that she got him from. I'm like, nah, let's not do that. I don't think that's a great idea. Just bring him over here. We'll figure it out later. Well, then, long story short, the relationship didn't work out, and she just left him here. So now I have a cat, and it's great.
And you're up a sweet cat. How
Oh,
long have you had him?
oh man, uh, 3.5 years now. He's a big boy. He don't miss no meals. Not on my watch.
And it's just so sweet that you have a good relationship with him. Look at
Oh
that.
man, if anything, he's like overly on you. Like the second I wake up, he's like, "Let me just lay on your face." I love him. No, he's great. Doesn't
Yeah,
no problems. He doesn't scratch anything up. He has all his claws. He doesn't. Good boy. Good boy.
he knows that you rescued him. You saved him from going back to the shelter.
I tell myself that, but the reality is he loves anyone and everyone that is.
So I'm curious, what insights and inspirations have significantly influenced you just in your life and in your journey?
Oh man. Oh, insights, inspirations.
It could be like a book, it could be watching some show, or maybe just somebody that you really aspire to be like.
Yeah, man, that's tough. I mean, the biggest inspiration in my life is definitely my grandfather. He's uh he's 94. He is the epitome of a do-it-yourself man's man. You know what I mean? And he's just now getting to the point now where he just physically can't do as much. And so we go over there and help him, and he cannot accept help at all. He hates it so much. But he is just the exact kind of man I want to be. For without a doubt, to a T, I have the greatest grandparents of all time, and I'll stand by that till the day I die. They're just wonderful. That he is definitely, without a doubt, the biggest inspiration for me, for sure. If I could
What,
be, if I could be a quarter of him, I'll be perfect.
wow. What specifically brings you to that decision?
Just I've never met someone so genuine and hardworking, and I mean his moral compass is just exactly where I believe one's should be. I mean, he hits on every cylinder in my book.
Really? The how is he with strangers and like,
Oh, he's great. Yeah, he doesn't know. He's never met a stranger in his life.
wow.
Not one day.
That is very inspiring. What character traits do you really that stand out about your grandpa that you want to carry with you throughout your life?
Loving, caring. I mean, the list goes on and on. Loving, caring, hardworking, genuine, um, funny. I mean, he's hilarious. He has, so he lost half of his thumb. I'll never forget this. This is like, no one else is going to think this is funny, but I always did. He has like half of a thumb. He lost his thumb in the Navy. And he would always like, when I was a kid, he would do like the finger trick, but it was real this time. Yeah, he's just a great man all around the board.
So, from what I remember,
That's in your memory here.
from what I remember, you've also had maybe some different extraordinary experiences, perhaps, I don't know, extra worldly or just experiences that cannot be explained. Do you remember any of those off the top of your head?
You know, my mom, more so my mom, has had tons of experiences like that. And I think I've told you this before, but you and my mom remind me of each other a lot in a lot of different ways. But yeah, I don't know that I've really had experiences that I would describe as out of this world necessarily. Things that just absolutely can't be explained. I don't know if I've experienced much of that. Um, but I'm also the kind of guy that like looks for every reason to rationalize something. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, it could be this, even though like it probably isn't. I don't know. I think it's because it scares me maybe a little bit.
It is kind of scary.
I think that's my defense mechanism. I'm like, well, I mean, it could be whatever. Probably
You
not.
know, what about it scares you?
I don't know. The unknown. You know, I'm afraid of unknown, of like out of my control. I like to be in control of. I want to be able to affect something, even if it's a little bit. I want to be able to affect it. You know what I mean? Like get myself out of the situation if I need to. Some of those things like that, it's out of your hands. I'm not
Yeah.
like that.
Or maybe it feels like it feels
That might be more true, actually. That might be more true. Yeah, that's why I don't know. Like, it's not related at all, but flying is like I'm like, man, there's nothing I can do here. Like, I have no control over what's happening. I don't
it's true.
know the concept.
It's true. I love flying. I don't know if it's for that reason, but I absolutely love it.
I could see I could see someone being on the other side of the way I feel about it for sure, where it's like a thrill, but not I.
Are you big on like roller coasters and
Yeah, yeah, those I like those, and I don't know why that's probably more dangerous than flying in reality, but out of sight, out of mind. Open to believing it's not, I guess.
yeah, most likely, I don't know.
Mind is a powerful thing, one way or the other.
It really makes you just consider, you know, appreciating life and having that acceptance of, well, I'm taking this risk.
Yep.
There's always a chance there's no tomorrow.
I'm as long as I can affect the outcome just a little bit, then I'm okay with it. But when it's completely out of my hands, I'm not a huge fan of that.
So, when you were growing up as a kid, did you ever have any strange experiences with your mom? You said your mom
But
seemed,
when I was a kid, I definitely, I don't know if it was, looking back on it, it's like things are so vague from my childhood. I don't know if everyone's like that or not, but like anything before age 10 is like little blips here and there. But I definitely had some experiences that I don't know what the heck was going on. But like I had an imaginary friend when I was really, really young. I don't remember this at all, but my mom tells me about it all the time. And she said, I mean, I would just like there was actually a person there. I'm just having the time of my life, which seems crazy now, but I don't know. I mean, the child mind I think is different. I think kids are different than adults when it comes to things like that. And the possibility of like tapping into certain things, maybe kids are a little more apt to being able to do stuff like that. But I don't know. I definitely had things like that. I remember seeing things that, like in my mind, I'm like, I know it's not there, but there it is. And yeah, I don't know.
what do you mean by that?
Uh, there was one specific time, and this is really weird, actually. I don't even know. This is probably not good. This is probably the bad side of this.
No
But
judgment.
I was laying in my bed, and like the foot of my bed points right towards the doorway. So like I heard something, looked up, and then like just imagine here. I'll show you exactly what I saw. I saw this right here. My mom's head, and then above that, my dad's head in the doorway. That's what I saw.
That is kind of creepy.
Yeah, and they weren't there. I'll tell you that. It wasn't them. I don't know,
Wow.
but yeah, that's the only one that I can think of off the top of my head. That one was super weird. I think I just covered my face up with blankets and pretended nothing happened. Sounds like something I would have done back then.
Yeah, understandable. I think sometimes we get spooked by different experiences when we're young and
I definitely did. I think growing up, maybe hearing all of my mom's things and all the experiences she's had, and man, I wish she was here. She could tell you all kinds of stuff. But yeah, maybe like it just kind of put it into my mind, and then next thing you know, boom.
yeah.
But none, not too many, not too many that I can think of other than those where like things I can't explain. That's pretty much where it starts and ends.
Yeah. Things you cannot explain.
Yeah, there you go.
At the age that you were at, it can be scary. And I mean, even now as an adult, sometimes those experiences can be somewhat scary and
Sure.
um wanting to play it off like, oh, I probably just imagined that. Like there's no way.
That's my move for sure. I,
And I mean that's kind of how we grow up is like, oh well, we control our environment and our circumstances. There's no way this kind of stuff's going on around us. But I mean, there's a lot of potential that there's something else there
yeah,
too.
remember we used to do things like that, and I was always the naysayer. I was like, nah, it's not. And really, I'm like, maybe. That was always my role. I'm like laugh my way out of this somehow.
Yeah. Well, I've had quite a bit of experiences that I really can't deny that there's
Sure.
something more. And it's like it's a really beautiful, magical thing when you start to recognize it and embrace it more. Um,
That's
what were you gonna say?
that's the key, I think. Once you acknowledge it and embrace it, I don't think I've got there. I don't think I've reached that point yet, but I
I
believe that.
Yeah, I believe that you would be pretty surprised at what you might recognize when you say that sometimes things just happen synchronistically. Um, and do you really enjoy your time with nature? If you embrace nature just a little bit more and find more presence in nature, you might find a little bit of magic there.
Okay.
That's what I'll hint at because that's where I've connected the most is I really connect grounding with nature and there's a little there's a little bit of magic that you can play with that. Not not like I'm not saying like that you're like playing with it and trying to make things happen or anything, but there's a little something else out there that wants to communicate back to you.
I can get behind that. I have a connection with nature for sure, like in a huge way. But I don't think I've ever looked at it from that perspective, and maybe that's what I'm missing.
Yeah, and when you just go out and have fun and just embrace yourself and do what you love,
Yeah.
really neat things happen.
I mean, I've definitely had some unique experiences in nature for sure.
Would
But
would you like to share something like that?
well, I just mean, just cool things that if you weren't out there, you would have never saw. You know what I mean? Like, wow. Really, that's where I tap in is like I love the landscape and I love just being out there in general, but watching wildlife in their natural state is just something that you don't really see a bunch unless you put yourself in that situation. And that's really what I love about being out in the woods and hunting and fishing and all this stuff is 99% of what I love about it is watching.
Yeah, just being the observer and seeing
You learn a lot.
the miracles of life.
You definitely
It's
learn a lot.
it's really incredible. And the more I've traveled, the more I've seen, and it's just amazing.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious, what daily routines or daily practices, like what do you do to stay connected, to stay inspired, to, kind of keep yourself grounded in your own being?
Yeah. So I do. I'm a pretty routine oriented guy. And the most recent one that I added, just right, the very first thing I do the second I get out of bed is I make my bed. And I don't know, that might sound weird, but for some reason, like right there, it's like the very first thing you did is accomplish a tiny little thing. You got something done. And then the coffee gets going right away. But so I live in a 2-bedroom apartment. Um, and before my second bedroom was just like storage, kind of like I kept tools and stuff in there. But I decided to turn it into a home gym and then get a storage unit for all my stuff. And so I turned that into a home gym. And so now every morning I go in there and I work out for an hour and a half, something like that. That's a big one for sure. That one it changes my whole day. You feel completely different I mean, the first couple weeks is rough, a little sore, a little tender, less desire. But after that, I don't know. It's hard to get up and not do it. Those are my big ones as far as like first thing routine. Make the bed, turn the coffee on, work out, meal prep.
Yeah, and that's all huge. Personal wellness plays a huge role in how you feel every day and how you arrive to your job, to relationships.
Absolutely. Those are my big ones.
So, in your opinion, how can other people tap into that inner essence within themselves and start to embrace different routines that really open them up to creating the life that they could envision?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is be goal oriented and not only don't just say it, but put it right in your face where you can't avoid it. Make goals, do what it takes. Put a marker board on your door if you got to. And like every time you walk past, like there it is right in your face. Like, are you going to ignore it or are you going to do it? Make it hard to ignore. And that's what I did, is literally marker board right there. Boom. What are we doing today? There it is. You going to avoid it or are you going to do it? And then eventually it becomes routine.
Yeah. How long do you feel like it takes to build a routine?
I think it depends on what it is, but not long. Not long. I think maybe a couple weeks ish, give or take. But I think it depends on what it is and how often you're doing it. Every routine doesn't have to be daily. And sometimes when it's not daily, for one, sometimes when it's like daily routines you can get burnout. But you just got to stay focused, and then if it's not a daily thing, it's easy to let it slip by.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just got to put it right in your face, I think. And, if it's what you want, then do it.
Constantly,
No one's,
constantly tapping into it, doing a little bit of something every day.
I can't stress that enough. Put it right in your face.
Yeah.
Unavoidable.
I've always been a firm believer that if you do anything for 21 days, you have adopted it as a habit. It's a new part of you.
I think very accurate amount of days. That seems about right in my experiences, especially if you're doing something daily. If you're doing something daily, after 21 days, you're pretty locked in. You get to
Yeah,
you feel weird if you don't do it at that point.
exactly. And I think that's when it's like a new part. It's a new part of your routine, and
Right.
um, that's where you can really bring in those health and wellness activities that can change your life.
Definitely.
Like I meditate every day, and I've
That
never been better.
I need to do that. I need to add that one. I'm gonna write that down when we get done with this. Actually,
Yes, I'd be happy to share some techniques with you.
I
Like
was
it
just
literally changed my life.
I was about to say that, and I think man, stretching is big. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, but stretching is a big one. Feel
Yeah,
much better after stretching.
yeah, yoga is super great, and all kinds of body work that you can do is just incredible on the joints, the now that we're learning about the muscle and the fascia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so much that you can unlock, and I mean, you can help your body age backwards. We're still so young.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
I need to pick your brain on some of that stuff. I need to incorporate that more.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, and I'd love to share some stuff with you off the record
Yeah,
that works for me, because there's just so many ways that you can help your body to, you know, really embrace longevity.
sure.
And a lot of the like typical living nowadays, typical living standards don't embrace that. And it's time to start showing up and sharing it with more people so that more of us can unlock our untapped potential and stop sitting around and being couch slums.
Thank, thank you. I don't, I don't know how people do it. I
Yeah.
can't.
It is nice to relax sometimes though, for those of us that like to do, but there's a
You have to, but relaxing isn't all day. It's not an all day.
it's not an all day event.
I couldn't do it. I mean, I'm thankful for that, but I can't. There's no way. Never been able to. When I was a kid, my mom would ground me and I would annoy her so bad that she'd be like, you know what, you're fine. Just go. I'm like, yes.
So would you say it's what is it that makes you so uncomfortable with doing nothing?
I think that's actually probably a little deeper than we think. I'm, I'm not great at being just alone with just my thoughts, like nothing going on. I'm not a TV guy. Like I just don't turn it on. I don't really use it. I mean, I have a TV in every room and I don't use it for anything. Um, If anything, it's like white noise to fall asleep, and that's about it. Uh, so yeah, I just get kind of like, you know, I'll just be bouncing around and trying to find something to do. And I live in a little apartment. There's not a lot to do. I live by myself, so it's like you can only clean so much. There's only so many things to clean when you live alone. But yeah, it just, I don't know. I just feel like I have to have some sort of an objective at nearly all points of the day. Um, because otherwise I just sit there and think, and then like who knows what's going on there.
When you sit there and think, what does it lead to?
Oh, just ADD. Like, here's this. Oh, what about that? Oh, look at that. And then I don't know. I accomplish nothing when I just sit there and think about stuff. I'm a doer, not a thinker. Never been. This doesn't work as well as these.
It's interesting. Have you ever come up with like really cool ideas when you sit and think?
Yeah, I'm sure. But it always leads to now you got to go do it. Just thinking about it and gonna get it done.
Yeah, it's time to strategize and hash out a plan.
Like I get too anxious on the do part. Maybe I should think a little more about it.
It's always something to consider. I tend to be a little impulsive, to be completely honest. And I know that about myself. So sometimes I have to step back and strategize, and sometimes I jump into something and I have to re-strategize.
Yeah, and I think that's all part of that's fine. Impulsive can be great as long as it's the right thing.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that. I would love to hear a piece of advice for our listeners who are at the start of a journey, or maybe they're at a leg of their journey of life that everything has just like kind of changed and they're not really sure where they're going.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the biggest thing, set small goals. Figure out what you want, figure out what steps it takes to get there. Set small goals. Don't go too lavish. Baby steps. Small goals. Whether that be, it can be as much as like just a small little daily goal. And then what about like how about 6 months from now? Where do you want to be? What's it going to take to get there? Take little baby steps in between there. Write them down. Write them down. Same thing I was saying earlier. Put it in your face. Make it unavoidable. Where you
Yeah.
have to purposely ignore it to not do it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest. That's what's helped me the most. Just make it unavoidable, right in your face.
And how about those who maybe just aren't feeling inspired to even start a small step?
Well, and I think to me, one of the biggest things in life is finding purpose. Whether that be, it could be anything. You know, what makes you you? Do that. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be career oriented. It could be anything. Whatever it is. What makes you you?
A hobby.
Especially for a person like me, what can you just do? And when you're doing it, you don't think about anything else. You're not thinking about what happened earlier, what's happening tomorrow. You're focused on exactly what's happening in that moment. Whatever puts you in the moment, do that. Because that's true happiness. That's when you're not thinking about anything else, that's true enjoyment.
That's beautiful. I love that you shared that. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That really like gives me appreciation for different aspects of my life that
Yeah,
I'm realizing, I actually was completely in the moment. I
there you
wasn't checking my phone. I wasn't
go.
thinking about what was happening tomorrow. I was actually just embracing the moment.
Being in the moment is one of the most beautiful things there is.
Yeah.
Can't force it. It just happens.
And it's so neat how it feels like time slows down in those moments.
Absolutely. Yep.
Like I recently had an experience where it was 5 days, but it felt like forever. You
Yeah. Yep.
know?
It's like forever and no time all at the same time.
Yeah, and it's like, but at the same time, you're enjoying embracing all of it, and it's like, oh, Whoa, where did all these experiences come from?
One day enjoyed is better than a week of none, So
So true.
you're enjoying it.
So I'm curious about your next big aspiration in your journey. Are there any goals down the road for you? Do you
Yeah,
have any side projects, any inspirational?
yeah, we have quite a few. One of the big ones, which was a long-term goal and now has turned to more of a short-term goal, is to get our general contractor's license and kind of shift more towards running work rather than doing work, which is a tough task for me to like put. It's really tough for me to do is to not be the one that's hands-on and have my name on it. That's a big jump for me. I've been bouncing. I've been kicking that one around for a while. But we're in the works of doing that. And then it's just find guys that you can trust,
Yeah,
that you can trust to do the work good and be willing to go and do what you need to do to make it right if it doesn't work out, which that's not a problem, but yeah, it's just building the confidence to say, hey, we can do this. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I think we're there. So that's the next step.
you are, and you can do this, which
Yeah,
is
absolutely. If he can do it and she can do it and they, you know what I mean? Like, why not?
there's no reason you can't.
Yeah, you just got to do it.
Yeah, that's incredible. I'm excited for you. Um, how do you see yourself impacting others in the world with your work in the coming years?
Oh man. So another thing that we really want to work towards is doing like maybe one project a month as more like a charity thing, and we probably bring the community in to try to see who needs what and kind of go like build it off of that. But I think that like at least one charity project a month, whatever it may be, some a big one that people need, elderly or injured, is turning a tub into a walk-in shower. That's been happening a lot lately, and it's because you know people like us probably take it for granted, but it's not easy for them to step over the tub. And so many, you would be absolutely blown away how many times elderly or injured people fall and hurt themselves getting in and out of the tub. And so turning them into walk-in showers, nice glass doors, grab bars everywhere, seat maybe, you know what I mean, make it handicap accessible essentially. I think that is probably what's going to be a lot of them is doing things like that. Um, and we do a lot of those, so we can do them really quick.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
Yeah.
for a charity, I mean, whatever it may be, it could be, maybe your deck's falling apart and we'll go back there and we'll replace it or whatever it may be. But I would love to do some sort of charity work. You just got to build to the point where you're capable of doing it.
Yeah. That's incredible and very inspiring to want to do that and help others and get the community involved.
Yeah,
So to those listeners that maybe are involved in something similar or know somebody who could use it or maybe you want to donate and you want to help towards that project, please reach out. We would love to hear from you at all aspects, even if you're just like, "Oh, I think this is great and I want to help." So please reach out. We'd love to hear from you.
absolutely.
And where can our listeners find and follow your work? How can they connect with you?
So if you look up Premier Concept Solutions on Facebook, you'll find us.
Okay. And I'll add that to our description as well.
Perfect. Matt wants to be involved. Fine, right here, and I accept pets as charity.
It's the best pet ever.
Gosh,
The one that you weren't looking for.
you're right. You're absolutely right.
So I really appreciate you sharing your incredible insights and your inspiring journey with us. As we close, I'm going to do a short little meditation for you and our listeners. So, for those of you who are driving, please don't do this or pull over if you are driving listening to this. And for those of you just sitting, you can go ahead and close your eyes. Take a big deep breath in. Notice if you're filling up your belly, your chest. Begin in your belly, filling the air up through your belly, through your diaphragm, all the way up through your chest. And just sigh it all out. Another big deep breath, filling your belly with air up through the diaphragm, through the chest. And sigh it out. Just continue that breath, noticing the body relaxing more and more as we stimulate the nervous system with this breath. It allows our body to calm down and to relax, turning off that fight or flight response in the body, and just allowing us to be in this moment. And bring your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Just allow the breath to regulate. Bring your gaze up toward your forehead, keeping the eyes closed. You may notice a point of light. You can follow that light. And just breathing into the sensations that come, feeling the peace, feeling the softness, the quiet, and the bliss. And gently bring your awareness back to your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Start to bring a deeper breath into your diaphragm, into your belly. And just recognize how you're feeling now compared to how you were feeling when you first started. Noticing any changes in the body, in the mind, in the emotions. And as you're ready, gently open your eyes with a big smile on your face. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for joining. Thank you to the listeners for tuning in. And it's always a gift to have everyone on this podcast, listeners and all. Stay blissfully lit.
Thank you.